Getting smooth and stable video can be one of the biggest issues when creating video, especially with budget cameras. But a good way of fixing this is with a gimbal, and in this video we're going to review one, the ZHIYUN Weebill3S. A gimbal is great for stabilizing your camera, taking out shake from a moving camera shot. A lot of cameras and lenses do not have any kind of stabilization built in, which helps keep their price low, but I'm sure as you're all aware, shaky video does not exactly look professional. So a low-cost gimbal is a great way of tackling this. And the Weebill3S I'm reviewing today is the combo version, which comes packaged in a big box, with everything you can see here included. So big in fact that I couldn't even film it on my usual table. And so once you've wrestled this one out of the bag, which took me, well, much longer than I'd like to admit, this is what you get. And to be honest, at first it can look a bit daunting, but basically there's a carry bag, the main gimbal, the extendable sling grip, a mini tripod, and the mounting plates, as well as all the screws and cables that you need for charging and assembly. The optional extendable sling grip has a quick release plate which helps keep the size and weight down if you don't need it all the time. The tripod is still fully functional without the extendable sling grip. And the tripod mounts on the bottom of either the gimbal or the sling grip if you are using it, which is quite useful. It's very nice to be able to put this gimbal down. The extendable sling grip section is adjustable with wrist support, which you can extend and adjust up and down. Just be aware that this and all the operation is firmly aimed at right hand usage. So yet again, us left-handers haven't really been considered. So be ready to use your right hand pretty much all the time when holding the gimbal. Though that small annoyance aside, holding the gimbal is pretty comfortable, with the rubber grip that feels secure, and the wrist support really helps share the weight comfortably. And the extra support and control that you get with the extendable grip is excellent. It helps with shooting low to the ground and feels incredibly sturdy and easy to adjust. And looking at the gimbal controls, there is a small screen that shows you all the operational information and all the settings. There's also a power button and a menu button and a mode button and a scroll wheel on the right of the screen. There is a thumbstick, mode and record button on the left of the screen, which again is much easier to use if you're right-handed. And on the rear side of the grip is a scroll wheel and a trigger button. These controls are for certain functions, such as using the control stick to pan or tilt the gimbal. And to be honest, most of these are reasonably easy to get your head around. You can probably work most of them out without even having to look at the manual, though there are a few things that you will miss. Higher up on the gimbal there is the charging port and then all the arms, which you can lock into place with these 3 locking switches. This helps massively during setup to stop your camera swinging around all over the place while you're trying to get everything balanced. Now, talking about balance, I won't go through the whole setup here, otherwise this would be a really long 30-minute video. But if you'd like me to make one, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video all about how to set up this gimbal. And of course, if you're enjoying this review, please drop a like on the video. And for more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out a lot. To mount your camera, use the 2 plates we had a look at before, and these screw in using an Allen key and are adjustable during the setup to factor in the size and weight of the camera and lens that you are using. There is a quick release option, which is great for swapping your camera between horizontal and vertical shooting mode. This is quite a nice little feature, as it just means that you can have that increasingly common vertical shooting mode without having to completely move everything around. You can swap things over once you've got the hang of it in a few seconds. There's also an LED light which can be turned on by holding down the right side wheel and adjusted by turning the wheel, which is the brightness and the colour of the light, and it gets impressively bright. You can also connect your camera via Bluetooth for starting and stopping the video record with the record button on the left of the gimbal. And of course, the most important bit is how good is the stabilization. And well, in simple terms, it provides much better stabilization than either in-lens or in-body camera stabilization, and that is by a long way. In use while walking, it will reduce the motion of walking up to almost unnoticeable levels, and even while running, whilst it's clearly still moving, it smooths out a lot of the more violent looking shake. Great for if you are tracking a subject. And if you really want to avoid even more shake, with newer Sony cameras you can use active stabilization, which of course will crop your image in slightly, but together with the gimbal reduces shake, even when running, massively. Now let's look at the main stabilization modes. The first one is pan follow, PF, which enables the pan axis but disables the tilt axis of the gimbal. There's lock mode, which disables both. Follow, which enables both the pan and the tilt movement. And there's also more niche settings such as POV and vortex, which gives much more looser movement for POV or camera spinning for vortex. Though to be honest, for the most part, I imagine you'll be using pan follow. That's certainly the main setting that I find the most useful. And what's also great is that you can fine tune how the gimbal responds to movement very easily. The settings that I've found useful are increasing the smooth setting and the deadband area, making the gimbal respond a little slower to give you smoother movement. The Weebill3S Combo comes packaged at $440, so a lot of money, but to be honest, you do get everything you need for that price, with all the accessories you require for a gimbal. And if you do want to pick one of these up, links to the buy one will be in the description. Being able to use it as just a handheld gimbal or with the extendable grip and the tripod makes it very flexible for different types of shooting. The stabilization is smooth and helps prevent unwanted movements and vibrations or sudden camera movements. So if you are in the market for a gimbal for your mirrorless or DSLR camera, then this is a great choice. I've been using it with my Sony ZV-E10 with the Sony 18-105 lens with also a microphone. So this isn't the heaviest camera combo in the world, but you know, also not the lightest. I think it was around 875 grams and it handled that payload perfectly fine. I'm sure you can get much larger cameras, pretty much up to anything reasonable on this gimbal without any issues. So personally, I'm going to use this gimbal a lot. I found it very impressive for how good the stabilization it is and how easy it is to set up, making it a recommendation from me. Do you use a gimbal? Is it this one or something different? Let me know which one in the comments. But as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. But until next time, see ya.